What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Hope everybody's having a very terrific Thursday. All right, let's see what is going on across the markets. We did have a pretty good gap up across several markets today. You can see the SPY here gapped up pretty good, a little bit over a 1/4%. I know it doesn't seem like that because we actually had a down day. It's like a pretty good down day yesterday. A little bit over a 1/4%, about 0.3%. So it kind of, you know, doesn't seem like it was all that big of a gap, but we saw a lot of selling in tech world yesterday, so we'll see if maybe that continues here going forward. And as for today, first 30 minutes was okay, and then we got to really even after the first hour, we kind of hit a little drop there. So it's kind of how the day's going. We'll see how the day goes by the end of the day. We did get the ever important some jobless claims numbers this morning. And initial jobless claims jumped up to 243K. The forecast was calling for 230K, and prior last week was 223K. So that was really kind of a weird drop off last week because they're really, we'd been kind of in the mid 230s, 240s for several weeks, and then last week it just kind of dropped off to like 222. But this week it just jumped right back up to 243K, and that was kind of one of the things that we were talking about last week. We're like, we'll see if that happens 2 weeks in a row, right? If we get 2 weeks in a row down around the 220, 225 or less kind of numbers, and yeah, we didn't. We definitely jumped right back up. So there you go. Philly Fed stuff came out. Yeah, all that stuff. They're gonna have auctions and rates stuff throughout the rest of the day, and I'm sure just other Fed talk kind of going on. All right, so that's kind of some of the news that we got, or some of the stuff that we got pre-market. Q's had a pretty good gap up here. When I looked pre-market this morning, they were up like 3/4%. That's kind of about where they gapped up to. And you can see they just kind of faded throughout the day so far in the first hour and 15 minutes or so. So, I mean, if you're looking for an intraday trade, I mean, probably not a bad spot to be rolling over for the bearish play right here. All right, we'll see if that happens. IWM, the IWM, nice little gap down. People bought it up. Money continuing to flow into this area. I think it's a little bit overdone. I think you're not wanting to do that right here, right now. DIA also had a nice little gap down, nice little run to start the day. First hour, nice bullishness, and then kind of had a little bit of a pullback. Currently up about 0.1%. All right. RSP is actually up about 0.5%. A little bit of a gap down there, but very strong move there in the first 30 minutes. Very strong move. Kind of a little bit of a pullback here over the past hour or so. But yeah, nice strong move there in that first 30 minutes. Looking pretty solid. Second day in a row, it's got over 172. Doesn't look horrible. I think if it can just kind of hold up in this area and just kind of, consolidate sideways, let the moving averages come up, RSP might continue higher. So I think right now, though, you're just kind of waiting. Yeah, same thing probably with the DIA, probably just waiting here as well. We know UNH has been absolutely a monster recently, which is the biggest waiting for the DIA. You can see the UNH is just absolutely just crushing things here. So yeah, might be due here for rest just because UNH also been running pretty hot here recently. IWM, pretty large red upper wick candle that came in yesterday. I would be, I know this is a pretty kind of choppy area, back from late 2021. You can see a lot of choppiness in through here. It's kind of gotten halfway through this zone that we had back for much of 2021. And yeah, to me, I still think it just ran a little bit too far, too fast. I want to see a little bit better of a setup. I'd still want to be probably more bullish on the RSP IWM areas over tech, but I I think for the near term they've ran kind of far. A little too far, a little too fast. Qs. Yeah, Qs had that little bit of a gap up. Definitely had a pretty big breakdown yesterday because we broke the 10 EMA and the 20 EMA on a daily time frame. And it looks like we'll probably have 2 days of back-to-back closes below the 20 EMA. So kind of like a third of the way to the 50 EMA, which is going to be down around this level. So about the 474 area is really kind of where you're looking. Yeah, I think that probably makes sense. I think people are probably going to take the opportunity to see um, the selling that's come in in the tech area and be like, yeah, you know what, we're going to lock it in right now. That might continue for a little while. Here's the look at the SPY. SPY has not quite broken down as much as the Qs have, right? The Qs are getting below, kind of like halfway through. I guess this little consolidation that we had kind of late June, and the SPY not really even close to that level. So that's telling you how much rotation's coming out of tech and into the RSP, the other 495 stocks. So yeah, it's a lot of rotation kind of still taking place there. Doesn't mean that it won't get there. Just a lot of rotation happening out of tech. So we'll talk about it as it approaches, as it continues to happen. But man, a lot of rotation there. VIX. Yeah, did a little pop top here from late May. Didn't quite get there yesterday, but did get there today already. DXY. Nice breakdown yesterday. You're probably going to be hitting some resistance here as we are now kind of getting into the lower ends of the lows that we put in back in May and June. So the DXY probably going to be hitting some people trying to sell and be bearish here. Might be choppy to get through here. But if it doesn't hold down, I mean, obviously it's going to be a pretty good false breakdown. So if it can get back over like 104 level, 104.1 by close or something like that, not bad. GLD gold looking pretty good, continuing to push higher. 10-year yield looking like it wants to break down. 10 and 2 inversion. Trying to bounce here a little bit. Okay. Okay. HYG. All right. Trying to consolidate after breaking these highs. I kind of like that. I kind of like that look. Let's see one more day. Yeah, I'll see one more day, especially on a Friday. See how that looks. Maybe be talking about looking bullish there on the HYG going into next week. So let's see what it looks like tomorrow. LQD kind of has a little bit of upward consolidation here. Rising wedge kind of possibility. Which I don't know if those are hugely bullish. I think it just depends probably more on yields than bonds. Yields trade 24/7. Bonds do not. Or the ETF that tracks the bond does not. So yeah, we'll have to see. TLT just kind of hanging out, kind of getting supported by the moving averages coming up. Okay. All right. I think you probably want to say one more day on these bonds, on all these bonds, see what kind of how it continues to shape up. We continue to get more consolidation here. Maybe you look for the push higher, the continuation. And taking a look at sector rotation on the day. And yeah, we can see some pretty good rotation actually going on out there. You can see tech actually had a pretty good gap up to start the day. XLK there, and you see it's actually kind of underperforming pretty good here on the day. Healthcare also underperforming the most. And then you got materials outperforming, financials, discretionary, staples, industrials, communications, utilities, real estate, energies at the highest, the tippy top, baby. Tippy top of the day so far. As far as intraday price action, yep. Take a look at that tech, continuing to sell off, down 1.5% from the open. Whew. So from the open, not doing good there in tech world, and that is definitely, I mean, if you look at kind of the flow of the SP 500, is definitely the flow of tech, right? So healthcare outperforming, communications, discretionaries, all doing pretty good, somewhat good. Financials, industrials, materials, staples, utilities kind of outperforming there pretty good on the day. Real estate and energies at the higher end of the day.